G'day fellas and welcome to A Casted Game. This is a show match between these two players, but before we introduce them, make sure you go check out Red Bull Wallalol. It is happening right now in Heidelberg. They're probably live on Twitch or YouTube, whichever your preference is. I'll leave a link in the description to where you can catch them. Now let's get into it. Spawning in on the south side of the map, playing in the color teal as the Ottomans, it's Crackety here. And on the north side of the map, playing in the color red, representing Team Malians as the Abbasid dynasty, it's Certain. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the third game in this series. It looks like we've got a single scout opening from both of these players, so nothing too crazy today. Abbasid dynasty up against the Ottomans. Now, we're going to make sure that we have got the appropriate villager count coming on your screen for you at the moment, and we're also going to be bringing up this bad boy right here. Yoink! And so you can see exactly where we sit at the moment. So Crackety has lost with the Chinese, or not lost with the Chinese, but used up the Chinese. I guess technically we should also say that this is a use of the Abbasid. So we'll make sure that we update that, but you can see where we are at the moment. So just to explain it, the way that it works, once you, so if you win the game, you have to play, your next civilization must be one of the new civs. If you lost the game, the previous game, you must play one of the OG civs. And the winner of the show match is where the person who has still got civilizations at the end, and the loser is the one that doesn't have any civs left at the end. So it's a little bit complex. I can appreciate that. So I apologize in advance if I haven't explained it well, but just know that at this point in time, the score is technically 1-1. You know, both of them have used up one civilization each. And, you know, whoever wins this match is going to be up a point technically in the series. And you'd probably say the advantage would be with Certain here because he's playing the Abbasid dynasty, and that's a civilization that he has had in his hands, his hot little hands, for at least, what, 16 months now? Age of Empires has been in the beta stage. It's gone through the development period, and then we've obviously had release. We're coming up to 25 years of Age of Empires now, but only Age of Empires 4 has been out for a year. But he's very comfortable with this Abbasid civilization, whereas Crackety on the Ottomans, civilization that's probably a little bit more alien to him, but still one that is something that he'd be comfy on. Ottomans a lot closer to the other civilizations compared to, say, the Malians. But we do now have the twin minaret madrasa being dropped down for him. No early shenanigans with military schools. We do see some straggler trees being taken here by Crackety. He's already got 100 wood in the bank. Question is, what does he look to do here? Now, we do see a villager also moving out to the stone outcropping, so my suspicion is it's probably going to be a very quick town center. Right on board over on the other side of the map and see how our Abbasid player is doing. Certain just continuing to gather up gold. At the moment, the gold mining's age up's already in queue, so expect to see a villager moving out towards the berries any second. Any second it'll be going out there. Maybe it's this one. I just know there's a specific build order. I should call it, I mean, I guess we shouldn't call build orders like the Dutch build order, but maybe like reactions are probably better. I want to get into this because I've talked about this before on stream, and you got to be careful. You got to be careful, Certain. Don't lose those villagers, or don't lose that scout. But, you know, whenever you're watching chess, they've got terms for different defenses because obviously chess has been played for hundreds, maybe even thousands of years. I'm not 100% sure. I think the rules have changed a lot. I think the rules at the moment probably existed only for a couple hundred years. But you've got different types of defenses that happen, and you're like, okay, this is the Scandinavian defense. And so I want to start that as well with Age of Empires. You know, like as an example with the Mister's French defense against Mongols, like that is very typically known as the Greek defense. That is what we call it now. It's the Greek defense. So we're still looking for more different terms. So if you got one, let me know. But I guess we could probably just use where the person's from as to how it goes. But the first of the military schools are now going to be coming up here for Crackety. You can see the resources in the bank, not particularly high, but he's got plenty of villagers here on food. In fact, a lot of villagers here on food. So does he think about going into a stable? Why does he have so many vills on food? What is he planning to do? Fresh food stuff's coming in on the other side of the map. We do have the mill that is up, but we don't actually have we don't actually have any wheelbarrow being taken. And I can see Spiel Dota coming in and saying, these terms need to happen organically, Drongo. Yeah, they do, but at the same time, we need to force it. You know, it's kind of like the word fetch. And speaking of fetch, Corp coming in, fetching a big raiding party of 86. Thank you very much, Corp. Hope you're doing well, mate. And looking forward to some casted games at the Red Bull Wallalol. There's going to be plenty of action coming up over the next week. So once again, if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you go check out Red Bull Wallalol. It's going to be happening. It's going to be happening live from Heidelberg. And we're going to be down there on the ground enjoying it. Stable now getting thrown down here from Crackety. Now keep in mind he's got that scout on the enemy side of the map. He's going to be pulling back these sheep, but expect to hear that sound coming in shortly. I'm going to switch character or switch perspective. I just don't want to hear that sound when the vizier point comes in. You'll expect that it's most likely going to be the Anatolian Hills that he goes for, which is going to increase the rate that he's gathering stone and gold, so increases his mining rate, but it also gives him sheep, and that'll be the giveaway because we'll see a whole bunch of sheep underneath the town center. So we'll double check now over on the north side of the map exactly how Zerton is doing. Quite a lot of villages here on stone. And we've got the horsemen moving onto the enemy side of the map. And interesting to open up with the horsemen up. But I guess Zerton's probably done a bit of math here, right? So if you don't get attacked in the early game by the Ottomans, then they're not probably going for that military school, which it means if they're not going for the military school early, they're not going to have spearmen early. So you can pretty safely go for a horseman, and that's exactly what he does here. Crackety not going to get punished, only sitting at 150 stone. Looks like the scout going to be trying its best to just defend this position. Villagers also pulling out their daggers and looking to hold it down. Still going to continue gathering up the stone, and we can see that he's got the double military school down here. He's going for meta as well as some spa here. So interesting to see that the meta is the adaptation, but we do have Anatolian Hills coming through. 8 sheep here. At least that should be Anatolian Hills. The scout was coming back with a lot of sheep, so maybe it's not Anatolian Hills. We'll have to wait and see what point he invested on. Still, the horseman holding on for the moment against the Spahi. Spahi trying its best, but actually this is probably a good opportunity to compare the Spahi. So, Spahi gets an extra 10 health, I think it is. Yeah, an extra 10 health. So there you go. That's what you're paying for. That's where the big bucks come out. That extra 10 health. That makes all the difference, doesn't it? But I guess that does stack throughout the game. When you think about your elite upgrades, when you think about your biology upgrade. Ooh, that's loud. Anatolian Hills, any second should be coming in. There it is. Okay, that's what we were looking for. I would have thought it came in before here, but 6 minutes 50. I guess it was a little bit of a late one. Now we've got the town center going to be coming down for Crackety. Beautiful spot that he's got here in the deer hunt and also quite close to the stone outcropping. So not going to be able to use it to drop off the stone out. I mean, technically he can, but you'd ideally like to have the mining camp right next to it, but he will have it there for protection. But now those horsemen continuing to move around. And now the question is, how many TCs are we going to go for? And it looks like Zerton going to be going for that extra town center. Now, keep in mind, there are some changes to the town center. Most notably, the town center costs an extra 50 stone. So players are going to be gathering up an extra stone. So normally you'd expect to see 600 stone taken off the stone outcropping. Here we can see 700 plus is taken off the stone outcropping. But nice little town center over on this west side here for Zerton. It's going to be the third TC of the day. And definitely the wise choice to be going over for it. And it makes a lot of sense as the Adversary Dynasty to be going into a third TC. If ever you spot your enemy going for a second TC, it's pretty safe as the Adversary to add in that third TC, and you should be able to get away with it. But now moving out with the meta, looks like Crackety could be looking for a bit of a raid here on Zerton. It could be potentially looking to find that third TC. He will be able to click on the stone. He will be able to spot that out and say, oh, I know there's a third TC somewhere. Whether he gets there in time, though, that is going to be a different question. There's a lot of villagers out here, so even if he does, and it looks like he might, but the town center is going to be able to shut him down completely. Town center gets up ahead of schedule, and with that, Crackety going to be stuck in an awkward spot, caught between a rock and a hard place, between two ferns, if you will. Town center going to be firing off towards the Sparky, but keep in mind they've got their +1 range armor coming through from the meta, so it makes it a little bit easier to raid on. We do see a third town center now getting placed in from Crackety here, that wasn't meant to be Crackety here. That was rather meant to be Crackety, here. We do see the third town center being placed here by Crackety. Would have been the other way to say it, but a lot of vills, 15 vills now going to be building up this town center. We're seeing an increasing amount of villagers building town centers as well because of the change to TCs, where not only were town centers increased in their cost, but they were also increased in the time it takes to build them. So you really want to make sure that you're getting that town center up as soon as possible, because if you get caught with your pants down, it's going to be awkward for both you and the person that finds you. But we do now have some heavy infantry switches coming through barracks together with triple archery range. So this is going to be a big transition. I would suspect that we see a double broad axe coming through. He's only got 2 villagers on gold at the moment, but no wheelbarrow. So very early town centers, delayed technologies coming through. We'll ride on board with Crackety and see how he is. He's behind 6 villagers at the moment, but keep in mind, even though he's behind 6 villagers, he's technically got these military schools that are going to work in his favor. 12 sheep underneath the town center. Another thing that I love to talk about when you're watching the Ottomans, when you're witnessing the power of the Ottomans, is the fact that their economy just enables them to really avoid moving into a farm transition. They don't have to worry about food nearly as much as the enemy civilizations do. And even you can see, you know, civilizations like the Abbasid, which get these extra bits of food on the berries, that pales in comparison to the bonuses that the Ottomans get. Not only do they get these respawning berries, but they also get the 8 extra sheep from Anatolian Hills. And it's pretty much mandatory at this point to be going for Anatolian Hills. Spearman moving out into this position. Looks like he's got a little bit of a split for the moment. Spahi going to be able to come back around towards his spot. They were buffed up. He had Fortitude turned on just to take out the villager, but now we see the hardened Spearman coming in. And now the question is, which direction does Zertan look to go? It's obviously going to be an infantry direction, but the question for me is whether he plays it out heavily in feudal or whether he starts thinking about the castle age. We can see Crackety's already made his mind up about where he's going. It's going to be 3 town centers into a castle age timing for him. And I think there's a lot of potential for this. Now, we will do a rare thing, and we will jump out of the caster mode, just so that we can switch into the regular UI. You can see that this game is live. It has been playing live, so it will show in the top right-hand corner the time constantly moving up. But we're just going to check in with the Vizier system, because I want to bring your attention to this one right here. We may potentially see Janissary company coming out here, just simply because it enables you to get those extra Janissaries, really hit your enemy with a timing push. Apologies, I don't know what's happening right there with the... With the UI, it goes a little bit crazy when you go in and go out of it. So apologies to all my photosensitive friends. But now that mass is really starting to build. Crackety about to click on that age up. You would suspect it's going to be the MIA, the Mehmed Imperial Armory. But he could always surprise us when it comes to his villager counts. There it is, the MIA that does get dropped down. A little bit of an awkward spot here. It could potentially be taken out. Now we do see that, or we do hear that he has reached that second level of Vizier point, so expect it for him to be going into that 3rd military school, and then be dropping down a 4th military school. You can see he's now moving villagers over to stone, 5 villagers as well, so highly likely to be there. We can see that he hasn't actually picked up wheelbarrow, has picked up horticulture. He's picked up all of his tier 1 upgrades, with the exception of wheelbarrow. So I don't know if Crackety just doesn't like wheelbarrow, or what this is. Maybe this is the new non-wheelbarrow meta. Is that the direction that this game is going? Potentially. But we do see a bit of a push coming in from Zertan. So we talked about earlier what direction he wanted to go, whether he wanted to really stick it out in the feudal age, whether he wanted to think about going into the castle age himself, and it looks like it's going to be the former of the two. So it's going to be a heavy push here, but maybe when Zertan realizes what his enemy's up to, and it's only going to be a matter of time until mangonels are out on the field, then it might be best just to head back to the drawing board for now. He's not going for that cavalry composition that we do sometimes see out of our Abbasid players, the Camel Archer plus the Horseman combo. Instead, it's going to be a very heavy infantry-based comp. But the age up does come through. The armory is down, and it's only going to be 2 minutes before that first mangonel is here, 2 minutes and 9 seconds. Looking to move through onto the wood line. 3 town centers, keep that in mind for Crackety. So going to be able to defend this position pretty effectively. 14 vills in the first, 8 vills in the second. Good luck pushing into that. Town centers are too damn strong at the moment, and you've got insufficient numbers of battering rams to make that an effective counter. And Zertan getting repelled very effectively. Beautiful way that Crackety's got these town centers positioned here defensively. 3rd military school. I don't see it quite yet, but you'll expect both a 3rd and a 4th military school. Now going to be drawing his attention onto the south side here. Don't expect to see a re-wall coming in. There are archers, there are ranged units that are here. Double meta also coming out. Looks like it's going to be a movement into knights coming out from Crackety. Plenty of food stacked up for the moment for him. Looking to hold on a little bit longer. We see phalanx upgrade for Zertan, making those spearmen a little bit better against the likely knights of his enemy. And we do see, obviously, the first of the Dark Knights out on the field. A beautiful knight skin as well. Horseman going to get caught out of position, forced back behind the walls, and Crackety managing to hold on for the moment. He's down a significant amount of population, but that mangonel doesn't have long before it's out. Another minute to go, another 60 seconds, 65 seconds to go. Military schools coming up. No, that's not military schools. He's sitting on 2 military schools for the moment. Afraid to add in that 3rd and 4th military school just yet, because he knows that by dropping that military school down, it's going to be a while before he actually gets the resources from that military school. It's going to take some time, but we do now see, there they are. Blacksmith military school getting dropped in. Could be going for that 3rd one as well. And then once he does that, he could be going straight into Janissary company. I think it's probably going to be a wise decision for him. The units are going to be very, very strong, defending against the cavalry. He's got the mangonel as well, so there's a whole bunch of units that could pop out here very, very quickly for Crackety. But let's watch to wait and see how it goes as Zertan continues funneling units down, but it looks like an age up is coming through shortly for him. Villager count at the moment pretty even. Crackety maintaining pace, 75 villagers for him, 86 for Zertan. And the hold continues. Mangonel about to come out. And now we start to see more production facilities being dropped down Interestingly, only the 3rd military school is made, not the 4th one. So I don't know whether he moved into a different technology. I'm trying to think what other techs he had available. He's got siege crews. He could have gone into siege crews. Let's see. I don't think he did, because if he went into siege crews, this would be showing as 0/1. So he hasn't gone into siege crews. It's just that he hasn't put down his 4th military school. So just chilling on 3 military schools at the moment. He'll be adding in the 4th one shortly, I'm sure. Mangonel holding for the moment. Able to push out now. And we do see that Zerton just kind of biting the bullet here and having to fall back towards his own base. Upgrades coming through. Still Crackety with no wheelbarrow. And Zerton with no wheelbarrow either. The new no wheelbarrow meta. Look at this. Players just avoiding wheelbarrow. I don't know what they have to gain from this. What do you gain by not taking wheelbarrow? It seems absurd to me, but interestingly, we see Zerton playing as the Abbasid. 3 town centers, almost 100 villages, and not a single economic upgrade. And keep in mind, economic upgrades have been buffed up immensely in the last patch. Hold on a minute. Oh, okay, there we go. All right, I'm sitting here wondering, why are you not getting your eco upgrades? That explains it. He is getting his eco upgrades now. He's a little bit late to the party. But yeah, all your eco upgrades have been reduced in price. We can see that Crackety's picked up all 3 of his. If we go and have a look over on this side of the map, you can see it's 50 wood and 100 gold. Very, very cheap upgrades. Looks like the outpost gets cancelled. Zerton realizing that he might be under a bit of pressure now. Initially, Crackety was the one under pressure, but Zerton, he's trying to expand out towards the other side of the map. Is there... Where is the villager for this? Did it just fall back? Just fallen back. It's just fallen back away from that front line. More knights moving up. Spahi looking to collect the horsemen on the backside. And now, still pushing across the map. We see crossbows starting to come out. No Janissaries as of yet. It's going to be men-at-arms Janissary. And we do see that 4th military school coming in. So that does open the window for a potential Janissary timing attack here. 2nd Mangonel going to be coming out shortly. Now, keep in mind, he's up against the Abbasid dynasty. So on the defense, Abbasid going to be able to throw down a springled up for that Mangonel, and it's probably going to be the wise choice for him. So throwing down an emergency springer, but look at the resources he's got in the bag right now. He could be thinking about going for Imperial. I don't think so. I think it's likely just going to be he moves into more armored units. But now, speaking of armored units, the Knight's going to be heading towards the town center, gets a couple of decent hits on the villagers, manages to take out 1 villager. So it's going to be 3 villager kills this game so far for Crackety. Now back on the other side of the map, it looks like reinforcements getting picked up. Keep in mind, the wall is not completed at the front of the base. He's got walls out towards the edges as the villager is going down, but not across the middle. Men-at-arms moving in with the knights. Crossbows out here as well. Mangonel firing down at the barracks. Decent military numbers. We're going to enter into the cinematic mode here, as the knights have got to be careful. Knights moving up and looking to attack. Crackety falling asleep at the wheel. Careful, Crackety here. Veterancy comes through for the spearman. Beautiful timing. Mangonel gets a decent shot off. Hits a whole bunch of the spearmen. He's going to move up and look to attack those range units. Veteran Camel Archers coming in. Spearman on the backside, and you can see the Mangonel wants the shot. He gets led away. It looks like it's going to be going wide, and we hear all of the horsemen now coming in from the south side. He's looking to try and cover this position. Might be a bit out of position, though. Mangonel! Oh, it's massive! Huge damage coming out from that Mangonel. Absolutely epic shot right there, hitting about 17 of those units, and you can see him trying to fire it off and trying to duck and dive and dodge. Now the spy going to be coming in, and look at this. We got ourselves a little bit of an Ottoman timing push right now. Where are the Janissaries, though? They're nowhere to be seen. The spy going to be coming in. It looks like we've got Fortitude being busted down as well, and the timing is coming in. The Mangonel shot to ruin them all, it seems. Men-at-arms coming in. The Abbasid units just screaming out in pain as they typically do, and he's found a nice little choke point here underneath this town center, this expansion town center on the stone. Relics getting picked up behind the piece. And now we've got a really nice push here from Crackety, but it looks like it may have petered out for the moment. We'll bring back in the UI so we can begin to document exactly what is going on behind the scenes, and we can see and hear those relics being picked up. It looks like, is it going to be Crackety that's picking them up? I'm not sure who's picking up those relics, but I assure you, somebody is picking them up. And look at these outposts coming up across the map. To me, this is just indicative of like, all right, you got outposts from both players on all sides of the map. Everyone's just trying to establish that line of sight dominance. Mangonel manages to get off a shot. It hits the camel. Not a bad shot there, Mr. Mangonel. Keep it up, my friend. And so, once again, we're going to take a look now and see. I don't know what. No, we don't even need to. You can see right there. That is it. This is the Janissary timing push that we've talked about. The Janissary timing push together with the Mangonels. He has gone for Janissary Company. It is 100% confirmed at this point in time. So that means that he's got 4 military schools back here, and each one of these military schools gives 2 Janissaries each. And so it means that he's got 8 Janissaries now. So he gets free resources, a huge amount of free resources from that. And that timing push is going to be massive against any potential cavalry that comes out here. And technically, the Camel Archer is cavalry. So it's going to be, both of these units do counter each other. The Camel Archer counters the Janissary counters the Camel Archer. There's a couple of interesting dynamics for that. But I guess that's just the consequence of it. Men-at-Arms able to take out that outpost. And now a second outpost going to get thrown down. Mangonel moving up, taking off its first shots. Looking to try and begin working its magic on the town center. Springled coming out towards the north. We're going to enter into the cinematic mode as those Janissaries continue teeing off towards the villagers. Janissaries on the backside, still firing down upon the town center. Mangonel gets a decent shot off. Springled moving forward. We can see it's trying its best. But the numbers here looking decent from Zerton. Still the scores relatively even at this point in the game. And the Ottomans stacking up incredibly well against the Abbasid, which at the moment are considered to be one of the better civilizations. Still those double Springleds back there. You can see him really trying, and now Mangonel going to be firing off. Hits the villagers. Villagers look like they might be able to make it through towards the Mangonel, and indeed that Mangonel gets evaporated in the blink of an eye. I think it might have been a Springled shot. But once again, that ranged composition coming out from Zerton looking very good as it holds on. More men-at-arms, more knights running through. Mangonel, big shot on the front line. Springleds, double shot. It's a takeout right there. But once again, that siege pressure very high from Crackety here. Score still very even. Look at this. Less than 100 points between them. We'll bring back in the cinematic, or bring in the UI for you guys as more units continue funneling across the map. And keep in mind, so many of these units are coming in for free here for our Ottoman player. Sorry, it took me a while to get it. He's got 4 military schools and he is pumping out knights from these. So we know that he's actually gone, we know every single tech that he's gone into at this point in the game. He started off with Anatolian Hills. He moved into military campus, which gave him the extra military school. That's not true. He may not have gone for the additional speed on the military school. So I think he's still technically 4 out of 5. We might even just head over into the regular UI just to double check that. I think he's 4 out of 5 at the moment. Apologies for the UI. He's 4 out of 5. Yeah, hasn't taken fast training. So that does leave the potential for siege crews still here. Keep in mind, this is a live game. You can see that going up as the game moves forward. We're going to switch over to the perspective of Zerton. There we go. Apologies for everybody that's witnessing that on the screen. It's not the prettiest, but the age up now coming through, and beautiful timing here from Crackety. I mean, I'm just impressed. A lot of people, you know, every Ottoman game that I post, there are people in the comments that are just like, yeah, this is so typical. The Ottomans lose the game again. I mean, even if the Ottomans lose this game, Crackety is putting on a hell of a show right here, and he is demonstrating the power of the Ottomans. There were a lot of windows here that looked very likely for an Ottoman victory, and now Crackety finds another one. He's just hit the Imperial Age. There is the potential for him to move into things like chemistry, move into biology, some big technologies here that have the potential to change the landscape of the game, and we now start to see the upgrades that Crackety's moving into. Veteran Spahi, elite men-at-arms. He's also picking up +3 melee armor, so going into Master Smiths. So don't be surprised if we start to see elite army tactics, maybe even incendiary arrows. And have a look what we got here. Stables coming down. Let's have a look and see. 3 stables, 3 barracks, 2 siege workshops, 3 of your finest archery ranges as well. Looks like over on the west side of the map, units still cleaning up those outposts and relics getting picked up. It's going to be the final relic here. So 3 relics going over to Crackety, 2 relics going over to Zerton. Nice little even Stevens game there for you guys. And now the age up coming through for Zerton as well. Military wing going to be his Imperial age up. No surprise there. And now we've got plenty of production for Crackety coming through. And I think the scary thing here for Zerton is this window where there's going to be elite upgrades for Crackety and Zerton's not going to have any. Because keep in mind, Zerton's got to wait for his age up. He's got a very specific time that he has to wait. He can't make that go faster. He can't put 40 villages on his landmark. It is not possible. Wallalo coming in. Beautiful timing on the Wallalo. Beautiful timing on the Wallalo. Oh my lord, it would have been magical. He wouldn't have made the hit in time. He definitely wouldn't. Now going to jump inside the... Oh, it's beautiful. You love to see it. You love to see it. He comes in now. He's got their healing centers as well. Going to be buffing up those villagers, repairing them. And Crackety realizes, I've got to duck out of here. I can't be fighting this one out. But it looks like the movement out on the field now going to be coming through. We see the first of the university upgrades now coming in for Crackety. It's going to be incendiary arrows for him as he begins moving into the middle of the map and looking to force the issue with his opponent. Now the question is whether we see any big boys coming out just yet. Do we see the MIA moving over to big boy production? No, he's actually just going to be sticking on Mangonel production for now. So no great bombards just yet, but there are keeps out. So you're going to need to address the keeps. And keep in mind, keep in mind, they do have their boiling oil. Or at least they have their boiling oil researched. So it must be coming in over on this initial keep. Yeah, it's coming in on this first keep over here. Camels moving in over on the east side of the map, so raids everywhere. Crackety just going down the middle here. Age up yet to come through. Another keep getting placed down. So many damn keeps here. Zerton doing a great job realizing, you know what, I need to put keeps up in the meantime. So very smart by him. Only elite units at the moment are the elite men-at-arms together with the elite archers. He's going to continue pushing through onto the wood line, ignoring the boiling oil. Very dangerous, very bold, and we can see how much damage it's able to do as the second round of boiling oil comes in. So much damage. It's like a mangonel on steroids right there. But now moving forward with that mangonel, elite men-at-arms, and we can see the population capacity just being reached for Crackety. He's pumping out units. Look at the resources in the bag right now for Crackety. Springald's moving forward. Mangonel still holding down that siege pressure. He's able to get out a single shot before going down, and now going to be able to push into the base as well. Spahi together with the Knights going to be looking to dish out some damage. Crackety on 148 villagers. I don't know where they came from. I don't know who you are, Crackety. I don't know where you come from, but that is a lot of villagers by my standards. Jeez Louise, and Crackety just throwing away his entire military here, but he's going to be able to replace it easily. Very, very easily Crackety replaces this, and oh Lord, he coming. Oh Lord, he coming. If there's ever been a time that he coming, it is right now. Look at that. Oh Lord, he coming. Look at the size of those things. Now, Crackety should have technically gone into his last tech, and I don't see this sitting as a 0 out of 1, which means he didn't go into siege crews, which, in my opinion, is a cardinal sin. We'll watch to see how it works out for him as he begins pushing up. Now, keep in mind, the meta actually affects these units. It gives them additional attack speed. He's got the meta sitting a little bit too far away from these great bombards, so they're not going to be picking up any additional attack speed, but bombard's going to be exposed on the front line. Melee units moving in. He's going to try and back them out. Mangonel shot coming in. It looks like they're going to be fine. He's always going to be able to pull villagers up to repair, and that's exactly what we see. No, villagers just going to be dropping down a keep in response here. More units coming out. Not Crackety getting caught with his pants down. Villager's going to have to head back to the drawing board. Springalds are out. Do we see the upgrades coming through for them? Not yet. The Springalds going to be outranged by the Great Bombards. Great Bombards going to turn their attention towards the Springalds. Instead, they don't do it. Crackety not really paying attention. Under attack in his base as well. Camel Archers are broken through. Somehow, some way, the Camel Archers got through. And now he's going to start losing villagers. It's down to 130 villagers. Slowly, those Springalds were moving up, sleeping, creeping forward. Now the Great Bombard managing to hold on. Elite Archers has come through, and we've got Incendiary Arrows. These guys are almost fully upgraded. Almost fully upgraded. They've only got their +2, yet to get their +3 upgrade, but those Elite Archers are really, really tough to deal with. Keep survives. The main reason why these Elite Archers, the Ottoman Elite Archers, are so good is because they've got that extra attack speed. But keep in mind that they're not the only upgrades available to civilizations. That on the other side, we've also got composite bows that can come out from Zerton. I haven't seen it come through yet, but I haven't been looking for it. We'll have a look and see whether I can spot an archer here. It doesn't look like he's got any. But hand cannoneer is going to be coming out. Kind of a weak unit against archers. Got a lot of overkill potential here and can get picked off. But now, got to be careful with the meta. The meta is standing out here. He's got 2 of them. Could look to get picked off. Villagers underneath the keep getting annihilated. Crackety down to 125 villagers here. Still going down. It looks doubtful that this keep is going to get up in time. More villagers getting pulled to the front line. Mangonel shooting off towards that east side, and walls just continuing to come up across the map. It's going to be stone walls out for both of these players. We might be in for the long haul here. We're at 27 minutes in. Mangonel, big shot down the middle. Hits the hand cannoneers. It's going to be a lot of damage. These guys getting buffed up as well by the camel support, and it looks like the keep is going to get cancelled. Zerton holding on to the large gold vein, doing a decent job there. He's in control of both of the large gold veins here, and that could be difficult for Crackety as he moves towards a more wood and food-focused economy. He's going to start really desiring that extra gold, but now you can see him on the backside here. Numbers really starting to falter for him. 200 population for Zerton, only 170 for Crackety. He's going to have to fall back and regroup away from the front line. Definitely some mistakes were in here. Number 1, didn't take out the Springalds. Number 2, didn't repair up his Great Bombard, so he lost those out. He could have maintained real siege dominance in that fight, but just didn't do it. And now, instead of putting that keep on the front line, he's going to have to put it on the backside, but we do see the first of the culverin now coming out as well for Zerton. Crackety really going to be under pressure here on the front side. And, you know, we were talking about it a bit earlier. Oh, Ottoman always lose these games. Even if the Ottoman loses at this point, I got to be honest, man. Crackety's put on such a good show, and it has demonstrated. I mean, you're going up against one of the best late-game civilizations in the Abbasid dynasty. There is no civilization that is as good as this civ in the late game, with the exception of maybe the English. That is it. They are the kings of the late game. So to be going this well, to be going toe-to-toe with an Abbasid dynasty player, 30 minutes into the game, scores, I mean, I've just checked the scores. It's not looking pretty, and that's why I hate score, because now I'm like, oh, well, okay, we can see Zerton's far ahead. It feels bad. It feels bad. Upgrades now coming through. We see roller shutter triggers, so he's going to be looking to contest siege. But note, with no siege crews, it's going to be harder for him to do that. If he had siege crews, he'd be able to get off those first shots, get off the second shots faster, third shots faster. Villagers over on the east side, still not in control of those large gold veins. And keep in mind, there are gold veins back in the base here of Zerton. So doing the right thing and utilizing the gold out on the map. And look at Krakeny being so cheeky. Looks like a keep going to be coming down to defend, but that's not going to guarantee this position over on the north side. It is going to guarantee that he maintains control over the gold mine, or at least prevents his enemy from having it. But still, it's in an increasingly difficult position. Needs to try and take out this keep. Needs to force this position. I've just said position like 17 times in the last minute. I apologize to you guys. Sometimes my brain gets stun-locked a little bit on words. That was one of those words. Men-at-arm numbers looking healthy. Hand cannon numbers looking healthy. We've got the Culverin firing off towards the Great Bombard, and you can see the Great Bombard just really struggling here. He's grouped it together with other units. So instead of the Great Bombard just, hightailing it out of there, it's just, oh, I hate it. I hate it so much. I don't know why it happens, but it is a bug that the devs need to fix. 100%. I'm calling him out right now. They got to fix that bug. What is the bug, you might be wondering? Units move slower together when grouped up, and they move slower than the slowest unit. I know it seems wild, but that's just how it is. If you've got one unit at 1 movement speed, one unit at 2 movement speed, one unit at 3 movement speed, and you all group them together, they all move at like 0.85 movement speed until they're in formation. It's the stupidest thing. I don't know why it happens. But Krakeny getting absolutely cleaned up. He's down 35 population at the moment. Zerton is completely maxed out. He's got a gold-heavy army. He's got hand cannoneers. He's got the men-at-arms. He's got so much gold behind this, and it all came down to the control of the golds. Krakeny a little bit too slow in controlling that gold. He was up to the Imperial Age ahead of his enemy, but he wasn't ahead in map control, and as a consequence, it's not looking good for him now. Crossbow's now going to be coming out for him as well. He could start thinking about going into trade. Now, where are the trade posts? They're here. So it is definitely an option for him, but it feels a little bit too late at this point in the game. Going to be falling back towards the keep. We hear the Culverins firing off on these outposts. Outposts yet to receive their upgrades or their emplacements. Keep going to be able to hold on. We start to see the emplacement coming through on the keep towards the north. That castle, or that keep, did get cancelled. So Krakeny just, at the moment, twiddling his thumbs. He's sitting on 1,800 gold. I don't know exactly where he's pulling that gold from. Can we ride on board with Krakeny just quickly? There's got to be a gold mine somewhere that we can't see. I've got no idea. Oh, it's over on the east side. So, okay. Yeah, not the prettiest. Knight's now moving out, going to hit the Culverin. They're undefended, and he will get both of them. At least he should get both of them. Yeah, Culverin moving away. Then instead of moving around the units, more counterattacks coming through. Men-at-arms, Sacred Sight getting neutralized as well. Both of the Culves do go down, so the siege priority is going to be back in favor of the Ottoman player, at least for the moment. Keep in mind, he's got the MIA somewhere back here. There it is. That's going to be producing great bombards. Then moving into Springald production. I love the way that you think, Krakeny. Moving into Springald production is going to be great. But now the meta holding on the front line. We see at the moment they're still on the attack speed. Spahi coming out. He's got the elite Spahi. What kind of upgrades are we talking at the moment? Looking to pick up the biology. Still yet to get chemistry. And good game going to get called. Krakeny here going to be tapping out. And the third game in this series is going to be going over to Zerton. So there it is. Another absolute nail-biter. It seemed like Krakeny definitely could have gone the whole way there. I know that there's going to be people on YouTube like, we told you, Drongo. You never listen to us. Well, hey. I mean, you got the Ottomans up against one of the best civs. You give it a couple more weeks. You wait until Ottoman players are really used to this late game, and they're going to work this out perfectly. This game all just came down to gold control. In the end, Zerton had control of the golds. Krakeny wasn't able to maintain or to hold that over him. Wasn't able to regain control of the golds, and he just lost out. That was really what it came down to. We'll quickly check in with the villager count. You can see right there, it gets pretty wild, the stats. And of course, guys, go and check out Red Bull Wall. It is live right now, probably on YouTube and Twitch. And once again, the next game that's going to be coming up, it is going to look like, I'm going to assume it's going to be Zerton on the Ottomans, and then it's going to be Krakeny here picking one of his civilizations. So we move on to the fourth game.